Hello, everybody. I don't know if you've heard about this story. You've heard about the ABC, the network that broadcast the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. There was a whistleblower, apparently, that there's even rumors that he died in a car crash today. I don't know if that's true. I've heard a lot of different things. But this sworn affidavit, which is highly revealing and incriminating towards American broadcasting company ABC, is just making the rounds. It's completely breaking the internet. It's gone completely viral. I have been doing my due diligence like I always do for you guys, qualitative and quantitative research, but I have not been able to find out conclusively if this is real or not. I got a ton of emails, ton of messages from you guys saying, Nez, you got to talk about this. Nez, you got to talk about this. So I'm going to kind of say for now, I can neither confirm nor deny whether this affidavit is actually true, although I've read it about a dozen times, and there are some points in here, and I'll talk about them, that really ring true, especially if you're a human being with any kind of critical thinking and intelligence after observing and watching the sham that debate was on ABC between Kamala and Trump, where it was essentially 3 against 1. It was a complete disaster. They fact-checked Donald Trump over a dozen times. You want to know how many times they fact-checked Kamala Harris? You see my hand right here? Big goose egg, 0. So if you watch that debate, if you happen to see my video, the reaction of it, we went live to when it was actually broadcast on the 10th, 5 days ago. It was abundantly clear that was highly advantageous for Kamala Harris. So let's just go through this together, and then I'll tell you my thoughts at the end, and we can talk about it more, and I can't wait to read your comments on this. So it starts with, this was dated the day before the debates took place there, September 9th, 2024. There's a lot of parts that are blacked out, I guess, for privacy concerns. But if you look at line 2, I have worked for ABC News for over 10 years in various technical and administrative positions. Since the acquisition of ABC News in 1996, by the way, this isn't long, it's only a couple pages long, I've observed significant transformations in the nature of news reporting at the organization. Yeah, no crap. I mean, that seems pretty straight up to me. These changes suggest a shift from unbiased reporting to a model influenced by external factors. So far, so good. I'm 100% on board with this. Everybody has noticed that. Everybody can vouch for that. ABC is probably at the forefront of the fake woke mafia media news, corporate media news. So I'm totally with it so far. For the record, I do not endorse Donald Trump in his capacity as candidate for president of the United States. The intent of this affidavit is to address concerns regarding perceived biases within news reporting within my employer's debate that will be hosted on September 10th, 2024. To the second page, observations on debate communication. Since the debate of President Trump and Vice President Harris had been announced to the broadcast on ABC, various members of staff have expressed hope of a debate where issues that were important to everyday Americans would be discussed, and there have been promises made that the candidates would be held to firm discussions regarding their proposed policy stances, and that the debate would not deteriorate into an ad campaign, whereas both candidates would simply make blanket statements without specific policy or explanation as to, and then that portion is blacked out. And then the second point here, political position clarification. Many employees of ABC who were looking for a fair and honest debate questioned the clear bias that is well known throughout the company. No argument here. It is common knowledge that debate moderators, as well as chief executive officers of my employer, are well known not to support Donald Trump. This led to several employees speaking up in regards to how fair the debate was going to be. We were given assurances that the debate would be fair, and neither the Harris campaign nor the Trump campaign would, I don't know why that's blacked out, have unfair advantage. Point number 3, concerns regarding journalistic integrity. It is my belief that contemporary news organizations, including ABC News, no longer adhere to impartiality. 100% on board with that. The influence of commercial interests and substantial donors appears to affect news presentation, resulting in selective reporting and biased narratives. I have personally witnessed news stories being cut from programming and not reported at all due to the influence of certain corporations linked to our parent company, and that would be Disney. I don't know why that would be blacked out. I mean, if this was manufactured, and this is fraudulent, it's not doing a good job of hiding that fact, because some of these blacked out words seem, and I'm no expert at affidavits, I'm no expert in whistleblowing, so I don't know what that process is like when you divulge something like this and you submit your findings to the public. But it seems awfully strange. Everybody can look up who the parent company of ABC News is. So I'm a little bit suspicious right off the bat on point 3, but you let me know in the comments what you think. Point number 4, observations pertaining to debate fairness. I have noted specific instances related to the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris that raise concerns about procedural fairness. The specific instances of perceived bias are as follows. Oh boy, let's go to the next page. Okay, on the next page, affirmation of documentation. This affidavit has been signed and notarized on September 9th, 2024 to ensure that the allegations set forth are formally documented prior to the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. In addition to notarizing this affidavit, I have sent a certified letter to myself, postmarked September 9th, 2024, which will remain unopened for any future investigations. I have also dispatched a Federal Express package containing this affidavit sent on September 9th and delivered to my residence on September 10th, which will remain unopened for potential investigative purposes. Furthermore, I have sent a certified letter to Speaker Mike Johnson, dated September 9th, to establish a record that the correspondence was sent before the debate commenced. I mean, he's doing everything. Whoever this is, it seems like they're doing everything on the up and up. Additionally, for further investigation, I've secretly recorded several conversations that will prove, that the Harris campaign insisted upon not only the fact-checking of Donald Trump, but also insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or else the Harris campaign would decline to participate in the debate. Now, that's highly, highly interesting, which almost seems like inevitable if that ever does come out. It could corroborate the verification and authenticity of this affidavit, but also be very, very revealing. So we might have to do a follow-up video on that, but also just to play and be as objective and impartial as I can be. It also speaks to the sense that if this was a quote-unquote Trump supporter and this was written, and it's interesting that it comes out now, even though he said he notarized it, and all of that needs to be verified. It also does seem a little suspect that everything that, is being mentioned here and everything that so far I've uncovered, again, I don't want to jump to conclusions, could lend itself to somebody who is upset about the debate, upset about the performance, upset about the advantages that were given to Kamala Harris, and the bias that is obvious to everybody who watched it. It's really, really interesting. We'll have to see how this plays out. This right here seems like the most interesting bullet point, and one that could dispel any sort of speculation or scrutiny that this is all fabricated and not verified. So I really look forward to those recordings coming out, if there's such a thing. And here's the final page, I guess. I didn't even realize this was the final page. I make these statements under the penalty of perjury and without coercion of any kind, verification of affidavit, State of New York. I, and then there's his name right there, duly sworn, hereby deposes and says, the deponent has read the foregoing affidavit and hereby vows to the content thereof, and that the same is true to deponent's own knowledge as to the matter therein to be stated, to be alleged upon information and belief as those matters deponent believes them to be true. Sworn on this 9th day of September, Notary Public, State of New York, and you can see a couple of signatures blot out in black right there. I don't know. So it's really, really interesting, after reading that, it also, really quickly, another thing, it's more than, probable and probably more than likely, very, very possible that not everybody that works at ABC is a leftist and a woke, liberal. So, I mean, if you're somebody who supports the other candidate, or in my view, supports America, because I truly believe there is that disconnect, that dichotomy. It is that stark. You're either voting for America or you're voting for communism. I've said that before, and I've audaciously said it. I own it, and I believe it 100%. But there's more than likely going to be people that work at this network that don't align with the ideologies and the principles and the dictums that are sent down from the higher ups, which it seems abundantly clear all of woke left mafia, ABC, NBC, CNN, CBS, they're all the same. And there have been data reports, analyses, not only done by me, but vast array of independent research firms and consultants that have agreed that the amount of negative news and negative information spread about one candidate far outweighs the other. And obviously, we're talking about Trump versus Kamala. So it seems more than likely that this individual, whoever this is, could finally just be like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this. I've worked in jobs where I hated the job, the university being one of them. Thank God I was able to get out of that because I just couldn't stand the indoctrination and the lies. Where, you have a family of kids and you have no choice. You're like, yeah, I got to work here, but I don't believe in any of the crap that they're spewing. So on that front, it seems very, very, plausible. It could be plausible. At the same time, again, I can't confirm or deny this. It's worth talking about. It's breaking the internet. It's going viral. And all I can say is this, and I can't wait to read your comments on this, after somebody who's viewed and done a lot of due diligence, not just in media, not just in Aristotle's principles of rhetoric when it comes to ethos, pathos, logos, audience, purpose, message, just seeing it firsthand at the university, the power of propaganda and the way that they have, been congruent with these woke ideologies. And the media is just a part of that, a cog in that wheel, in the sort of woke ideology spreading of these values that do not align with American traditions or the Constitution. It's beyond reproach. It's beyond a question that everything that's in this affidavit is 100% true. It's 100% true because of what we saw with our own ears and eyes. Even though they want to tell us, don't believe your eyes and ears, I'm afraid that's just not possible. We saw it, we noticed it, and I've done a lot of videos, reactions to that debate. It still shocks me to this day that anybody actually thinks Kamala won, when the only thing that she proved during that debate, if you could categorize that as a W, it's pathetic, and you're setting the bar exaggeratingly low. I mean, lower in the history of bar holding, period. She put a couple of sentences together. So if you give her a W based on that, fine, but it's really, really pathetic because all she did the entire debate was lie. And to corroborate this affidavit, David Muir and Lindsay, whoever her name is, I don't even know who she is, it doesn't matter, they didn't push back once. It would be so nice if these puppy dog and ice cream journalists would just at least try a little bit to hide your bias. Just try a little bit to hide your hate for Donald Trump, just so you can at least convey the appearance of objectivity, which is ingrained in the tradition of journalism. That is the highest standard. That's the gold standard. That is the constitution of journalism, which is you must remain objective, impartial. You must report the facts, the truth. And they didn't do that at all. So I throw this off to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments what you think. I mentioned earlier that there was this story going around that the ABC whistleblower crashed in a car crash and died. I don't think that's true. I don't know if that's true. If you hear anything about that, let me know in the comments. I mean, talk about House of Cards. If that's actually true, if all of this is true, last thing I'm going to say, and then I want to hear from you. It is the biggest scandal in American journalism in ages. And ABC needs to be held accountable. David Muir needs to be held accountable. Tombstone Vegetable in Chief Biden needs to be held accountable. And number 100% Kamala Harris needs to be held accountable. And the American public deserves to know. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please, please, please tap that thumbs up so we can get this. It's not for me. It's not for vanity. So we can get this to as many people as possible. When you tap the thumbs up, it triggers the algorithm. So it pushes our video out to more people, because you're not going to hear this stuff on the fake woke mafia media. So please do that. It's free. It takes you a nanosecond. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Follow, subscribe down there. Sign up for our free newsletter too. It's free, so you never miss out. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.